week. And he holds out the prospect of direct U.S. investment in Iran if the countries can reach a deal. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 754 points. More details at srnnews.com.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I'm Claire from Trinity Debt Management. I'm a counselor, and the reason that I love working for Trinity is because I get to help folks with one of the hardest problems a family can face, and that's financial difficulties. In this day and age, everything is going up. You have higher utilities, higher grocery bills, higher fuel, and those credit card interest rates have gone up as well. We can help you with that. We can help you get lower interest rates, lower monthly payments. In just a few minutes, we put together a plan that gets you out of debt and keeps you out of debt. I love my job. It's a great program and a very smart way to find debt relief.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
I'm Claire, a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-936-5496.
Here is the latest news and information that impacts you. I'm Derek White. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly signed bipartisan Bill 2172 into law yesterday, setting up a task force to protect Kansas' most valuable resource, water. The task force will be examining current funding for water and determine whether funding is sufficient to address the water issues included in the state water plan. This weekend, the Spring Craft and Vendor Fair will be at Wheat Ridge Acres in Goodland. Starting at 11 a.m. on Saturday, come find something for everyone. The Goodland Kiwanis Club will be egging yards on Easter Eve once again. The annual event does require you to sign up, so visit goodlandkiwanisclub.org for more details. Volunteers will hide eggs during the 6 p.m. hour on Saturday, April 19th, if weather allows. The event is restricted to Goodland city limits and 1 mile outside of those limits. For more information on this and other stories, visit nwksradio.net.
Rocket 1025.
This morning, we'll start off with temperatures in the mid-40s to low 50s with a northwesterly breeze at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Slightly cooler air is moving in. Highs will be in the lower 70s, with northwest winds increasing later this morning this afternoon to 25 to 45 miles per hour. Blowing dust is possible, and we do have red flag warnings in place in our counties in southwest Nebraska, counties on the border in northeast Colorado, and Cheyenne counties in Kansas from midday through the afternoon into the early evening. Tonight, the skies will clear with lows in the upper 30s, and tomorrow will be mostly sunny and again slightly cooler in the upper 60s with those gusty north winds at 15 to 35 miles per hour. Tomorrow night's low will be a couple of degrees above freezing. Then Friday, an upper-level ridge begins building over the area, heading our temperatures into the upper 70s. But on Saturday, we'll be looking in the middle to upper 80s. This is meteorologist Chris Romick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
Get ready for powerful deals at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, drive home a 25 GMC Sierra 1500 Turbo Max with 0.9% financing or up to $7,800 in purchase allowance. Step up in luxury in a 2025 Sierra 1500 Denali and get up to $5,250 in purchase allowance. Or take on any job with the 25 Sierra 2500 with 3.9% APR or up to $2,700 in purchase allowance. These offers won't last. Rush into Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
Get wireless on your terms with Next Tech Wireless. Choose from 18, 24, or 36-month agreements. With all the latest devices and a reliable network built for Kansans by Kansans, experience our service when and where you need it most. Plus, you'll receive a $100 Visa gift card on all new lines. Visit a location near you today. Next Tech Wireless, connecting Kansans.
Spring is here, and Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has everything you need for the season. Get your lawn looking its best with Ultimate Fertilizer and power up with Ego blowers and mowers. Got a project? They got a surplus of lumber ready to go. Plus, fire up the fun with their selection of grills and griddles. Hoover's is also proud to sponsor the Pioneer 5K, 10K, half, and full marathon supporting Colby Community College cross country on April 26th and remind you to sign up and participate. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your one-stop shop for spring.
Cornerstone Orthodontics wants to see you win this school year with an amazing smile. On the field, the court, in the classroom, or wherever you are, you want the confidence that straight teeth can give you. By providing a free consultation, outstanding patient care, and flexible payment options, we can give you a beautiful smile that all ages deserve. Find us on social media or visit our website, cornerstoneorthodontics.com.
Goodland's Rocket 102.5 is your home for Goodland High School athletics. From touchdowns and three-pointers to home runs, Ross Volkmer has you covered with all the action. Join him for live broadcast on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, your front row seat to the Cowboys and Cowgirls. Select games video streamed on the Goodland Voice. GHS athletics this season are made possible in part by
Farm Credit of Western Kansas, Miller Construction, S&M Recovery and Towing, Land to Legacy Real Estate, and Cornerstone Orthodontics.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
Give me my cane. I'll show you how to play this game.
The region's only local sports talk.
Dynamite drop-in at broadcast school has really paid off.
Broadcasting on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, simulcasting on Goodland's 730 Gold KLOE.
Guys everywhere.
Discussing it all from the preps.
Touchdown, the Cowboys!
To the pros.
And Tendy back on the track. It's out of here. Bobby Witt Jr. delivers a go-ahead grand slam.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, as well as the Insurance Agency, Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Cure with 5 strikeouts so far in this game. The 0-2, make it 6. A half dozen Ks for Allie Cure. Blows it by McClure. They're a pretty offensive game as Everett hits this thing out to right, fading away from the right fielder. It's down. Everett's going to round first. She's going to second. Heck, she might make her way to third. She's going to chug around second, motor into third. She's in there with a triple.
The pitch. Called strike 3. He got him looking in Nebraska. Nails this one down. Taking down the Kansas Jayhawks on the road 7-5 in a huge victory for Nebraska on the midweek.
Amazing effort. There's a drive down that left field line. Collins giving chase, not going to get it. It's gone. A line shot, just like on Sunday for Brenton Doyle. He puts his team on the board.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. We are back. You're on the Morning Blitz on this beautiful April the 9th. Just an absolutely picture-perfect morning in Northwest Kansas. 45 degrees, sunny, no wind, on our way to a high of 73 on this Wednesday. Glad you could join us here on the Morning Blitz, where we've got a full show ahead here today. After a full day yesterday of local sports. We'll get to more of that coming up here in the front page in our first segment, looking back at yesterday's local sports scene. We will also talk about the shocking news coming up in segment 3 of the news out of Denver with the firing of Mike Malone, as well as the non-extension of Calvin Booth, as apparently the Nuggets think it's time to go in a different direction. We'll get to that, and we'll talk a little bit of golf in the walk-off. And, of course, today it's a big day. Thank you to Danny Gershon, Father Gershon, for chiming in on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream here this morning. Max Gershon, a birthday boy today, turning 21. And because of it, the birthday boy will join us here on the program. He will join us as our guest today, talking a little bit about his beloved Royals, and they picked another win last night. We'll get his thoughts on all that with Kansas City. But Max Gershon back for a show. Thought it was his birthday. He should join us for his birthday as he turns 21 today. So we'll have some fun with Max Gershon back on the show here at the bottom of the hour for a segment. But Glad that you're all with us here on this Wednesday morning. As always, if you'd like to chime in, we'd love to hear from you on the FNB Bank text line, 785-899-2222. Or you can hit us up on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on X, Facebook, or YouTube. We can see those as well in the comments section. So feel free to chime on in throughout the program. But another full show here on a Wednesday and lots to get to off the top of the show. And looking back at yesterday's Sporting World, we'll recap it all with the front page.
Read all about it. Read all about it.
The top stories of today.
I got the early edition, hot off the press.
It's the front page on the Morning Blitz.
Front page, really?
Busy day in local sports yesterday, and this probably should have been. Beautiful day for weather all really across the western Kansas. I mean, I was all the way down in Hugoton covering softball yesterday, and the weather was very, very nice. I want to start, though, on the links with some area schools. It was the Oberlin Golf Tournament yesterday over there at the Oberlin Country Club, and good showing from a couple of area teams. Hoxie boys and Oakley boys finishing very close within 6 shots of each other, but Hoxie prevailing when it's all said and done thanks to 4 top 10 finishers, with it being Charlie Foote, Noah Dowell, Sam Watkins, and Max Foote. All those guys finishing in the top 10, and not too far outside of that is Ian Giancola and Matt Bretz, who are all within the top 15. So Hoxie combines to shoot a .339, led by Charlie Foote, who shot a .77 to take home the first place spot in the varsity team standings. Oakley finishing 6 shots behind. They had the tournament individual low score thanks to Easton Fink with a 76. Cowie Bosserman with an 84 coming there in 5th. And so Oakley finishing in 2nd. Goodland Junior Varsity, led by Trayton Haas, finishing in 3rd place with a .369. And then you've got Rollins County, Decatur Community, St. Francis, and Wheat Grinnell rounding out the top 7 of that tournament yesterday. But very good showing again from Oakley and Hoxie. Easton Fink, once again, the individual tournament champ with a 76. Charlie Foote just behind him with a 77. And Rollins County's Jeb Castens finishing in 3rd with a 78. Those are the 3 low scores, and much lower than 4th place Noah Dow, who shot an 83, who was 5 strokes behind them. So Oberlin Golf Tournament in the books, and good to see the results from that, and a great showing from area schools yesterday. It was also a very busy day on the ball diamonds around western Kansas. Colby softball was on the road. So I should say Colby baseball and softball were on the road at Hayes TMP. Softball falling 12-4 in game 1, then lost in game number 2, 8-4. Home runs were an issue. A lot of home runs hit there by, by TMP. They had a couple of home runs in the 8-4 in the second game of the doubleheader. Game number 1 just got off to a slow. TMP was up 7-0 before it really got going, and they go on to win 14-4 in 5 innings. Solid performances, though. Ike Nolan had a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs in the game 1 loss. And game number 2, a 4-for-4 day at the office for Jalissa Sabatka. And Maddie McCarty goes 2-for-3 with a run scored and 3 RBIs as the Colby Lady Eagles get handed a couple of losses, dropping their record to 500 at 4-4, and that snapped a 4-game winning streak for the Lady Eagles, who will be back in action coming up here on Friday. They'll be on the road at Russell for a softball doubleheader. So anyway, Colby with a pair of losses on the softball diamond. Also were beaten on the baseball diamond yesterday were the Eagle boys baseball squad. They fall to TMP by a finals of 3-2 in game number 1. Very close, good pitchers duel, but Colby could not prevail. All the scoring happened in the first 3 innings or so, and then pretty much zeros the rest of the way, but Colby could not find the timely hit in the back half of the game to get the win. And then game 2, TMP rolled 15-1. They beat the Eagles, and those are the first 2 losses of the season for Colby Eagle baseball, who started off the year 4-0. They are now 4-2 on this season. And then a great day, I'd say, overall for Goodland baseball and softball, going a combined 3-1. I was down in Hugoton covering Cowgirl softball, where GHS got off to a great start in game number 1. They were up 5-0 after the top of the first inning. They would prevail. It would get down to be about a 2-run game, 5-3. Goodland would pull away and win 8-4 in game number 1 behind a great performance from pitcher Allie Cure. She went the complete game, had a season high at the time, 7 strikeouts in that first game to help lead the Cowgirls. And then they were able to get some timely hits. Natalie Cure had 3 hits. Bree Carmichael and Danny Fisher combined to go what was 3 of 7 with 3 runs scored and 4 RBI. Allie Days also had a couple RBIs in that first game as the Cowgirls prevailed 8-4 for their first win of 2025. And then game number 2, a close game throughout. Goodland would lead early 2-0. Hugetson would lead 5-4 after 2 innings. They would extend that lead up to what would be 7-4 going into the 4th. Goodland would kind of tamper down the Hugetson offense over the next couple of frames while scoring 3 runs themselves and lead going into the bottom of the 6th by 1, 8-7. But Hugetson would put up 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th, aided by some Cowgirl errors. And the Cowgirls let that one kind of slip through their fingers. 10-8, the final score there in game number 2, with Hugetson picking up a win. Alyssa Rickard had a great showing in game 2, 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, a couple more RBIs for Bree Carmichael, who proved that she could really drive in the runs. Danny Fisher had an inside the park home run. She hit one out towards right field, and it rolled away from the right fielder, and she was able to get around the bases and score. Kaden Smith, unfortunately, only pitched an inning for the Cowgirls, got hurt as she was hit in the shoulder up to bat, and so she did not come back, and Allie Cure to come in and work 5 innings of relief. Still pretty solid, gave up 8 runs, just 4 of them earned, though, with 9 strikeouts. One thing about the Cowgirls, with their pitching of Allie Cure and Kaden Smith, they don't walk a lot of, they don't give a lot of free passes, and so teams have to earn it. And if you're not going to go up there and hit and be aggressive at the plate, Goodland can find a way to keep it. They can work on their defense, which at times was a little lackluster yesterday, needed to be better in cleaning that up, which will happen, I think, with more practice and time. But overall, and the Cowgirls hit the ball much better yesterday, that's for sure. But they have a challenging couple of series ahead. They have Friday on the road at Garden City, and then a week from yesterday, they will be at home at their home opener against Hayes TMP. So they've got 4 very tough games coming up against some very good competition. But the Cowgirls, after struggling in the series opener against Colby, looked much improved in Series 2. Cowgirls are 1-3 this season. A great day at the yard for Goodland Cowboy baseball as GHS picked up their first wins of the 2025 season with a sweep of Hugetson at Centennial Park. The Cowboys winning game 1, pulling it out in the end, 12-11. Goodland led pretty comfortable. After Hugetson scored 5 runs in the top of the first, Goodland slowly but surely chipped away and was able to score a total of 9 runs. What would have been 11 runs over the course of the next 5 innings, and would lead 11-7 going into the 6th. Hugetson would score 4 runs to tie it up in the top of the 6th. Goodland, though, would get a run back in the bottom of the 6th and would hold on to win. Cowboys 12 runs on 13 hits, but 6 errors. So errors an issue for the Cowboys. Offensively, though, a great day at the yard for Caleb Williams in game 1, 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, and 5 RBI for him as he was fantastic. A couple RBIs for Braylon Mole as well. So the Cowboy Bats getting it done in game number 1 against Hugetson. Despite struggling to kind of slow down that Hugetson offense, they were able to prevail 12-11 in game 1. Game 2, much more of a baseball score. Goodland getting the win 3-1. Cowboys only had 1 error in that game, able to muster up 3 hits despite getting out hit 4-2. That's because Caleb Williams was on the bump. He was fantastic pitching. 6 innings worked, just 4 hits, 1 run that was earned, 2 strikeouts, 5 walks, an issue for Caleb in that game, but still a pretty solid showing on the mound. He's looked good in these first few games that I've seen. He's looked really good. His work in the offseason has paid off. A couple of RBIs from Braylon Mole and Deegan Knox helped the Cowboys prevail in game 2, 3-1, and they get a sweep of Hugetson, and the Cowboys now sitting at what is 2-4 on the season. They have a week from this Thursday. They will be on the road. They have a makeup game scheduled for Monday against Garden City. They're going to make that game up on Monday, this upcoming Monday. They'll have that at home against Garden City, and then they'll be on the road at Decatur Community on a week from tomorrow on that Thursday, the 17th. So that's what's up next for Goodland Cowboy baseball. Like I said, a couple of challenging games at home against Garden coming up on this upcoming Monday. So there's that with baseball and softball for Goodland. Royals and Rockies. Royals and Rockies yesterday in the big leagues. Kansas City looked very good in their series, in their game 2 against the Twins. At least should say pitching wise, not about offensive. I should say Cole Reagans looked really good. He worked 6 innings, gave up just a run on 4 hits with 11 strikeouts for Cole Reagans. He was very good. Offensively, the Royals struggling to just 3 hits in that ball game yesterday. But they were able to get the hits that they needed. Salvador Perez, a fielder's choice, driving in Bobby Witt Jr. in the 4th to give them the early lead. After the run was scored in the 5th for Minnesota, we had to wait till the 8th until Vinny Pasquantino with a ground out driving in Bobby Witt again. And that would be enough for the Royals to prevail. Daniel Lynch getting his first save with a third of an inning of work. So Royals pull it out in the end, 2-1. And are up now back above 500 at 6-5 on the season with game 3 of that series scheduled for today. A first pitch time of 6:40 Central Time. As always, listen to Royals baseball on AM 790 KXXX. So that is going on there. And then as for the Rockies, another tough loss. They fall to the Brewers 7-1. I was joking with Joy Braun on the trip home from the softball game. I was saying, the Rockies, they get 12 runs. That was their allotment for the week because they really don't score many runs, and they struggled to score against Milwaukee. 7-1 was the final score. And so anyway, 7-1, the Brewers get it done over the Rockies. The lone run coming on a Brenton Doyle solo shot to left in the bottom of the 3rd. Kyle Freeland takes the loss to drop to 0-2, 6 1/3, 5 runs on 8 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts for him. The top of the 7th for Milwaukee was the big inning. They were able to hit 3 home runs in that top of the 7th inning for the Brewers to get that win. And Rockies now 2-8, and the stat of the day on that is with that 2-8 start, that matches the worst 10-game start in franchise history for the Colorado Rockies. Game 2 of that series against the Brewers tonight at Coors Field. Antonio Senzatella taking the mound for Colorado. That's a first pitch time of 6:40 Mountain on AM 730 KLOE. And then how about a nice little college baseball hit real quickly. Kansas State baseball with the dominant win over Missouri State. The Wildcats continue to roll in their season. And Kansas, we talked them up yesterday, had Brian Haney on the program to talk about the Jayhawks. And my little jinx worked. It allowed Nebraska to get a win. My evil plan worked there. Nebraska gets the upset of the 22nd ranked Jayhawks 7-5 as they're able to keep the 10 different Husker pitchers able to keep those very, very hot and powerful bats of KU at bay, just enough to get the win 7-5 yesterday in some college baseball regionally. Once again, I cannot wait to see what happens a week from this coming Friday when it's the Dillon Sunflower Show between KU and K-State. I think that is going to be an amazing baseball series. So there you go. That is the front page. Oh, one quick local sports thing here for today. Colby Community College and Fort Hays Tech Northwest softball facing off. Closest road trip for the Tech Tigers. They are on the road at Colby today for a doubleheader of JUCO softball. So there you go. That is the front page here on this Wednesday. Can you caught up on what happened yesterday in a very busy day of sports? And boy, did we have a beautiful day for it. That is for sure. All right, we're going to take a break here at 7:25 Mountain, 8:25 Central Time. When we get back, our good friend Max Gershon's going to hop on. He's a birthday boy today, the big 2-1. The big 2-1 for Max Gershon. He's going to hop on the program and visit with us, talk a little bit about his Royals and their success here as of late over the Twins, and we'll have him on the program to have some fun and discuss that. So Max Gershon joins us next, and of course, we will talk Denver Nuggets basketball and what the heck happened with Michael Malone and the front office. My goodness, what is going on in Denver? It's really hard to fathom what's going on there, and we'll have some thoughts on that coming up in segment 3. So plenty more to get to here on a Wednesday show. Stick around. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
At FNB Bank, we understand the backbone of our community is our local farmers and ranchers. Whether you're growing crops, raising livestock, or investing in new equipment, we're here to help you succeed. Our agricultural loans are tailored to meet the unique needs of your farm, with flexible terms from people who understand what it takes to make it in agriculture. When you partner with FNB Bank, you're working with neighbors who know the land and are invested in your success. FNB Bank, rooted in our community, growing with you. Member FDIC.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Wednesday, April 9th. On the overnight last night, made corn higher 2 3/4 at 471 3/4. July up 3 cents at 477 3/4. September up 2 1/4 at 441. December corn up 2 1/4 at 448. May soybeans up 2 on the overnight at 994 3/4. July up a cent at 10.05. August down a half cent at 996 1/4. September down 1 1/4 at 974 3/4. Chicago wheat, the May contract up 4 3/4 at 544 3/4. July up 4 1/4 at 558 1/2. September up 3 3/4 at 572 1/4. December soft wheat up 3 1/2 at 594 1/4. Kansas City wheat, the May contract higher 7 3/4 at 569 1/4. July up 7 3/4 at 582 3/4. September up 8 cents at 597 3/4. December hard wheat up 7 1/4 at 618 3/4. On the stock market this morning, the Dow down $554 at 37,269. The S&P down $55 at 4,964. The Nasdaq down 111 at 17,132. Gold higher $73 an ounce at 3,063. Crude oil down $3.60 a barrel at 55.98. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call. John Hanke or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Splitter, Jared Law, or Tyler Josh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Farmer Amaranth. 4 counts of yield theft, resistance to groups 2, 4, 9.
You ain't got nothing on me, man.
We've been surveilling you. And now we've got Tough 5EC, a tank mix partner that'll make sure you and your gang of resistant weeds never see the daylight again.
Crack down on repeat offenders. Add Tough 5EC to your post-emergence tank mix. Learn more at Tough On.
Hello?
Morning, senor.
Morning. Sorry, I'm a bad allergy attack and I don't want to be seen on camera this morning.
Not a good day to be all puffy faced on the big 2-1.
I know, right? I gotta
Not
get it
good.
fixed.
You got to get that fixed. Get your EpiPen out or something, you know?
Yeah, right.
All right, we're coming to you here in about 30 seconds.
Fertilizer and power up with Ego blowers and mowers. Plus, fire up the fun with their selection of grills and griddles. Hoovers is also proud to sponsor the Pioneer 5K, 10K, half, and full marathon supporting Colby Community College cross country on April 26th, and remind you to sign up and participate. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, your one-stop shop for spring.
All the sports you love, all in one place.
Ooh, this will come in handy.
This is the Morning Blitz.
So during the break, I was watching a little bit of the TV here inside the studio and had it on a Fox Sports show called Breakfast Ball, and they were talking about this this university somewhere that a baseball team that snapped a 100-game losing streak. 100 straight games they had a losing streak until yesterday. They get the win. My goodness, losing 100 straight. My goodness, that is unbelievable. Unbelievable to think about. Also, forgot to mention yesterday, another home run for KU baseball in their loss to Nebraska, but 74 home runs for KU baseball here at what is almost pretty much the midway point of the season. That's just one away from tying the program record for home runs hit in a single season. So they're going to blow that out of the water, is KU baseball, despite the loss last night to the Cornhuskers. All right, let's go to the phones and wish a very happy 21st birthday to our good friend Max Gershon. Good morning, Max. Happy birthday, amigo.
Good morning, Ross. Thanks for having me back on. It's good to be back, and it's a 21st birthday that I can share on the Morning Blitz. So that's fun.
Yeah, I know. I was going to bring in a beer and crack it open, but I forgot. So I screwed up on that. So what are the big plans for the 21st birthday? There's got to be some sort of plans, right?
Well, I'm heading to Kauffman Stadium tonight with some friends.
There
so
we
I'll be
go.
getting my first legal drink there tonight.
Legal drink.
And I will be heading up to Lawrence to see some friends at KU this weekend and play some golf there too. So that's the plan. That is the plan.
Hello, liver. Get prepared. Hello, liver. Get prepared. Sounds like the perfect weekend for Max Gershon, going to see plenty of baseball at all different levels. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? It's the birthday weekend. You might as well do what you want to do. I mean,
right. That's the whole point.
Is there going to be golfing involved in some sort of way?
Yes, there will be on Friday. Friday up in Lawrence, we're gonna hit the golf course. They got a nice course up at KU, and yeah, hopefully I hit it well.
Hopefully, hit it straight, hit it far. That'll be the big key there. So anyway, another win last night for your Royals. They're on a little bit of a heater here, manufacturing some runs, but a 2-1 win for the Twins, 6-5. Up and down start, but hey, that's baseball. What are your thoughts on Kansas City?
Well, it was a gutsy win when you only have 3 hits and you don't score or the Twins don't give up an earned run. You're not going to win a lot of games with that stat line. But 3 errors really helped the Royals out last night. And Bobby with base running, as well as Vinny just putting the ball in play was the difference late in that game. The biggest play in that game was Carlos Correa was up 1st and 3rd, 1 out in the tie game. John Schreiber on the mound, and it was a big discussion has been, all right, you have Harvey, Urseg, and then Estevez as your back 3 in the bullpen. It looks strong, but there's going to be games like last night where you don't have those 3, and who do you look to, and who's going to get the job done? And last night it was Schreiber, and Schreiber got Carlos Correa to roll into a double play, and that's a big spot that the Royals in past years have not been able to capitalize on and get through. So it was a really good to see other bullpen arms get through that tough inning like Schreiber did, and then Daniel Lynch getting the save, officially getting 1 out in the 9th inning. But I've liked a lot of what I've seen from the Royals. Obviously, it was a slower start than I would have liked against the Guardians in the first series, but all in all, it's been a lot of positives and a lot of things that we saw last year carrying over to this year.
How about Cole Reagan's last night? 11 strikeouts. That's what you want your ace to look like when he takes the mound.
It absolutely is. Cole Reagan's, that's back-to-back games now for Cole, getting over double digits in the Ks. And, he's such an interesting piece that has developed for the Royals. Not a lot of people thought a lot of him, obviously, when we traded Chapman for him. And he has just developed into this ace that has been consistent. And that was a big question. Can he be consistent year in and year out? And he's really proven that he's meant to be the ace of this team. And when you got a guy that can go out there and strike out double digits and get 6 solid innings every time he gets out there, it's just so big for the offense and for the team as a whole. He's been so great.
Has there been concern that offensively at times they've struggled to score some runs, or are you still like, hey, it'll all work itself out as the year progresses on?
Well, it's kind of what this Royals team was last year too. They're going to win these 2-1 games, and they're going to be in these low scoring kind of tight contests. And then, they'll have their games like everyone does where they'll score 11, they'll score 10, like they did against the Brewers and like they had against that Orioles team a few days ago. But, there's definitely some weak spots in this lineup. I think everyone knew that with Hunter Renfroe and Melendez continuing to struggle. How I roll, and everyone that has listened to me on the show in the past with, I'll be honest, I'm not an MJ Melendez guy, and I've grown tired of this experiment with him. I think we've given him enough chances. I'm sure they're going to give him about 150 more at bats before they give up on him. But I'm ready to see some change in the corner outfield. I think that's the weakest spot on this roster because you've got weak batters and they're not good defensively. So something's really got to change. But it's been working enough so far. They do just enough so far to get by. But I can't wait to see some new faces in left and right field.
Max Gershon, the birthday boy, 21 years old today, joining us on the Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware hotline. What's more surprising in your baseball mind? Has it been the Braves' 2-8 start or the combined record of the Padres, Giants, and Dodgers to begin this season?
I would say, honestly, the Giants are probably the most surprising out of all those teams. The Giants, they've been such an interesting team over the last few years to watch because, of course, a few years ago they had that 100-win season where they didn't win the division. Of course, it's just how crazy the West is. And then they've kind of had a couple down years since then, and now they have gotten off to this hot start. I mean, they have the guys, they have the pieces, so they've been really surprising. The Braves, the Braves just they've played obviously some tough competition early, but that's also been a big surprise to see them struggle. I know they're kind of still getting healthy, but the Braves and Giants to me have been two of the biggest surprises on both sides of the scale to start this season.
Well, it's certainly been an interesting. What else has stood out to you about this Major League Baseball season as we're about just over 10 games into it?
Well, the whole torpedo bat controversy was interesting early on in the year with the Yankees. And boy, I mean, that Yankees team can just hit the living crap out of the baseball. But I don't think they need the help of the torpedo bat. But that was a very interesting story early on. Let's see. I mean, I think all in all, it's been kind of what I expected to see. I think especially, the Guardians struggling has been a little interesting. I went to opening day out here in Kansas City, and just looking at that Guardians lineup, I was like, man, this lineup really doesn't move me as much as it did in previous years for the Guardians. I mean, obviously Manzardo had a really good series to start the year, but I don't know if that can be sustainable. And to see them kind of struggle against the White Sox yesterday, getting no hit through 6 innings and then only walking off 1-0. The Guardians' struggles are, to me, a little concerning. And I think they have a solid chance to finish third in this division if it holds up.
Yeah, the torpedo bat thing that caused a lot of stir. I don't know if it really stirred me up that much because if it's within the rules, it's perfectly legal. I don't really care. So
yeah, it was just interesting that this has never happened before. I mean, I don't know why it took an MIT scientist to figure out, maybe we should move, the biggest spot on the bat to where they hit it the most, and I don't know why it took MIT scientists to realize that, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And I guess I'm surprised more teams aren't using it because of how much it works. But I think also people kind of jumped the gun on it a little bit because of how bad the Brewers pitching was against the Yankees, and the Yankees scored 20 runs in that first series or whatever. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if more teams keep using it or if it's just kind of a one and done.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that MIT guy, I think he tried pitching that like a long time ago, like 10 plus years ago, pitching it. And they're like, we ain't swinging those things. They look ridiculous. They look like bowling pins. We're not swinging those things. And now all of a sudden someone swings it and crushes. You're like, oh, you know what? It's not so bad now.
It would make sense. I mean, it just doesn't feel like it's that bad of a concept. I just think that baseball players need to trust what they're swinging. And I think that's such a big part of their approach. If they go up there with a bat that they don't trust, it's not going to work. And I think from what I heard, they had been testing it out over spring training and maybe even going into last year. And a lot of them just didn't feel comfortable with it. But I guess, some of the Yankees really, really like it, and it's been working for them.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't have any problem with the torpedo bats. If anybody wants to use them, if it's within the rules, I'm perfectly fine with that. I know some people on the show were like, that's not right. That's not legal. Yeah, it is. It's legal. You can personally do it. When you're that it's just like anything, anything that's new that no one likes. If you think about it over the history, you can probably think of an invention or something like that. So someone's like, that's crazy. That'll never work. Don't ever do that. That's a dumb idea. And then you're like, 5 years later, that thing's flipping. That's a beautiful idea. That's a beautiful idea.
Right.
And that's what the torpedo bats could end up being like at that point in time.
Right. That's probably what they said about radio sports shows.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's a horrible idea. Who's going to listen to two guys talk about stuff all the time?
All right.
Yeah, it's exactly right. So that's just a prime example. I would be surprised, I guess, if we don't see by the next couple of seasons, I would say over 50% of major leaguers swinging a torpedo bat. I'd be surprised.
Well, I think
over the next 2 years.
Also, with how analytics work and how much kind of motion they have and how everyone approaches the game now, I think you might see. I mean, you might even see everyone have a different kind of bat that's just loaded up in different spots where they usually make contact. I mean, if let's say Vinny Pasquantino is using the barrel, he might have a bigger barrel. But let's say MJ Melendez hits more baseballs on one part of the bat, they might load it up on the other side. So I think it might be interesting to see if there's different kind of formations of a torpedo bat that kind of mesh with the person's swing a little bit better. So I don't know. It'll be interesting.
I think they should make Ohtani swing a stick. I think that's why they should make him swing as a stick.
They should. They should. I don't think it would matter. That guy is just, he's unbelievable. And how about my boy Ross Jack Caglione hit another bomb last night?
He's good.
468, 111. I'm telling you, this guy cannot come up faster. I cannot wait to see him play.
I heard on a show yesterday they were thinking it's gonna be like May. Or maybe June 1st, I think. They thought he'd be in AAA in May and maybe to the major leagues by June. So we'll see.
I hope. We'll see. I don't know. There's mixed feelings. There's some people that say he won't be up this year. There's some people that say he will. I really hope he will because we really need that extra boost and juice in the middle of the lineup.
At the same time, though, I mean, how good is he defensively? Because he's trying to work into a new position defensively, and that's probably where he's got to iron out the kinks, I would guess.
Right. Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because he can play first, obviously, and you can swing Vinny to DH. There's spots in the lineup for him to be. If they want him in the lineup, they can move him in and not force him to play the outfield, and you can kind of rotate him in at DH and first base. Because there's about 3 or 4 weak links in the lineup that just, if you can fill one of those spots, this lineup turns into one of the best in the league. I truly believe that.
Well, we'll see. Still a long way to go. We're only 10 games in of 162. So long way to go on this baseball season. Although you don't want to be the Braves, and I think what was that amazing stat? If no team that's ever started 0-8 or something like that has ever made the postseason or something along those lines. So don't do that.
Which is great. It's crazy that no team that's ever started 0-7 has ever made the playoffs. That feels like it's so early to just kind of throw a season away, but it's true that no team has ever done it. So, I mean, if there is a team, it'd be the Braves.
I'm telling you right now, though, I mean, I believe that if you get off to somewhat of a slow start, it's really hard to overcome it. You have to get off to a semi-decent start. Yeah, it's hard to win a race when you trip over your shoelace at the start at the gun. It's really hard.
Well, Royals and Rockies fans know that better than a lot of other, because how many Aprils have we gone through where all right, we're already out of it. We won 8 games in April, and now it's like we're not going to play comeback the whole year. It's over. Start packing it up and think about the draft and think about who's coming up next year and what the lineup looks like then, because a bad April really just ruins the whole season.
I mean, the Rockies are off to their worst start, or matching their worst start in history at 2-8. So they've already matched it. They're bringing up a whole bunch of youngsters now, which is great. Zach Veen with his first career hit, which was a bunt, and then Chase Dollander in his first start gets a win. So give the Rockies some props. At least they said, well, we're going to suck this year. We might as well get the young guys up here, see what they can do.
I love it. I wish more teams, I wish the Royals had done that in the years of sucking, of just calling young guys up. If the old guys aren't going to work, then just get the young guys up and let them develop. I love it.
No, I would agree. I would say that is. All right. So before we let you go, have you opened up any gifts for the 21st birthday yet?
I just got some new Adidas golf shoes from Papa Gersh.
Grandpa Gersh,
former producer, Grandpa Gersh. That's all I've got. But then I have the tickets tonight are we get some free tickets occasionally, and so I'll be, if you're watching the Royals game tonight, I think it'll be a lefty. You'll probably see me on the lefty cam. I'll be first row right in front of the Royals, right behind the Royals dugout. So.
Oh my jeez. Well, we'll just look for all the stack of the beer cup snake is what we'll be looking for.
Right. You'll see the worm, the tower.
Yeah. I don't know, the worm or the snake like you see in the UFL. That
the
big
snake.
You and your buddies are be holding that big old snake.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
We're going to have a fun time.
What will be the first alcoholic beverage of choice when you step up to what will be the choice? This is a big one.
I think it might be a course, just a big old course. The thing is, they cost so much money, Ross, at the games. I'm going to spend like $100 on 3 beers.
Hey, you know what? I think Papa Gersh can help you out there. He'll throw in tell him to throw an extra couple 20s in those shoes.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give him a call. I said, Ross wants you to get me drunk tonight.
Papa Gersh is listening. Grandpa Gersh, Venmo him or send some cash. All right, go drive over there. Give him some cash. Let him treat his boys to a fun evening there out at the ballpark. And make sure there's enough money left for the Uber on the way home or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We'll have a good time. I'm excited.
I'm sure you will. That'll be a great time. Well, buddy, we appreciate your insight and of course phoning on in and talking some Royals baseball with us. We wish you a very, very happy 21st birthday. Have fun, but of course, be safe.
Thanks, Ross. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Be good. We'll talk later. Once again, great stuff there from Max Gershon here on a Wednesday edition of the Morning Blitz. The birthday boy turning 21 today. Going to be a fun night there at the K. All right. Hopefully the Royals get a win. We'll take a break and we come back. I guess we could listen to AM 790 KXXX. We'll see if Max is possibly taking the field. Maybe Jake Eisenberg will call it out or something after Max gets a few down his system. All right. We're coming up about 10 minutes left to go here in the program. We'll take a timeout, come back. We don't talk a lot of NBA, but I feel like we need to talk about the story that happened yesterday in Denver. That's next here on the Morning Blitz.
Get ready for powerful deals at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, drive home a
.com.
Craving something delicious? McDonald's has you covered. From hot, fresh breakfast to juicy burgers and crispy fries, there's something for everyone, any time of day. And don't forget to try our classic McCafe coffee or refreshing McFlurry. Visit us in Colby, Goodland, Burlington, and Lamar for fast, friendly service and the flavors you love. Drive through, dine in, or order ahead on the McDonald's app. We'll have it fresh and ready. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery, ingestion, and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
From the locker room to your morning commute, it's all sports, all the time.
That's what I'm talking about. Sport!
On the Morning Blitz.
10 minutes left to go on a Wednesday show. Glad you're with us here on the Morning Blitz. Once again, going to be a nice day today. 73, plenty of sunshine. Should be a few clouds, and unfortunately, could be some wind coming to our area out of the northwest here later this afternoon. Could get a little gusty. See you anywhere from 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts coming our way this afternoon. Oh my goodness. What happened? Yeah, I couldn't believe the news when I heard it yesterday on the bus ride down to Hugoton that there was news that the Nuggets have decided to move on from head coach Michael Malone, and they will not extend their general manager Calvin Booth's contract either. Vice Chairman Josh Kroenke, one of the Kroenke family, they're an interesting group, called the timing, quote, unfortunate, end quote, but said the changes were necessary to spark something in a team he believes still has more to give. Let's remember, folks, that the Nuggets currently are sitting in the 4th spot in the playoffs. Yes, they are reeling. They've lost 4 straight and are in the possibility of slipping into the play-in game. But at the same time, let's not forget that Michael Malone led Denver to its first and only NBA title just last year. Had been with the franchise for 10 seasons. Had really resurrected that team after going 471 and 327 in his all-time record. He had gotten that place going. Now, the Nuggets had struggled since the All-Star break. They were 11 and 13, and there were tensions growing between Malone and Booth. But, okay, so if there's tension between Malone and Booth, why not just have one of them go? Or why is both are going to be gone? I guess I don't get that. That's my biggest thing when I look at this storyline. But the Nuggets and Calvin Booth, I should say, and Mike Malone, they built that Denver team. I mean, they're the ones, of course, that brought in Jokic. They brought in Michael Porter Jr. They brought in Jamal Murray. And they brought in all, they were able to trade for, I can't think of the young man's, I can't think of his name, unfortunately. Someone will chime in on the text line. Oh, the guy who played for the Magic. Really good dunker, but I can't think of his name now off the top of my head. But they brought in all these pieces. Did the Denver Nuggets. And I don't, and they had success, and they were in the play. And they're if you listen to any talk show talking the NBA, and there's plenty of them nowadays, if you listen to any talk show, you would, especially on the national side, talking NBA, they would say that there was only really one team that had a chance at really giving OKC a run for their money in the West, and that was the Nuggets. I don't know if I feel that great about that now here with the loss of Michael Malone. I know the player, from what I had seen, I mean, the Nuggets just were trying to get healthy during this time. Jamal Murray was out with injury. Michael Porter Jr. has been out with injury. I mean, they haven't been healthy. How in the world can you make this decision after the success that you had last year, winning an NBA title, and then, dealing with a roster that's dealt with injuries, particularly with Murray? He's had a lot of nagging injuries, and Porter Jr.'s had a lot of nagging injuries over the course of his career. I don't understand that. There was in this article on ESPN, they were talking about how, there was kind of a Cold War brewing between Malone and Booth, especially since the team won the championship and the Nuggets went with younger guys like Christian Brown and Peyton Watson and, Aaron Gordon was the player I was thinking of. Thank you. And then they didn't really go with veteran, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, and Bruce Brown. They all went other places. They went with younger guys. I mean, I don't understand that. It really doesn't make a sense. But this is kind of becoming a trend though in the NBA. If you look at, Nick Nurse won a title with the Raptors, gone the next year. Frank Vogel with the Lakers, Mike Budenholzer with the Bucks, and now here's Michael Malone. They just don't have the patience for this, and I don't know. I just, like I said, I don't know if I get this. My guess, it's a gamble. That's what it is. It is an absolute gamble. I mean, it's an absolute gamble to do this. Either the team, galvanizes and comes together underneath the now as fill-in a head coach in David Aldman, or they completely fall in pieces and that's it. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, this is the only coach that Jokic has played for. What if Jokic just falls in a heap? I'm not saying that he will, but what if that happens? I mean, that's good. You're talking about just an absolute horrific looking thing there for Kroenke. A horrific looking thing. So I don't know. To me, this move does not make any sense whatsoever. I could get possibly seeing we're not going to extend, the GM after, or we're going to let Malone go. But to let them both go after having the success that they have, I feel like you're almost setting yourself up for just what is failure here and what has been a great stretch of professional basketball in Denver. So I'm fascinated to see what happens here over the next couple of weeks, honestly, to this Nuggets team. They're 11-13 since the All-Star break. Have not been very good. But what can they do to put that together or piece it back together here down the stretch and try to avoid the play-in and make sure they're in the playoffs and see what happens? I don't know. I personally do not love this move. Personally, I don't like it. But, everyone's going to make some changes, I guess. That is what happens. So we'll find out more here in the coming weeks. But, man, I just think like with Murray being out for 5 straight games on hamstring injury and Jokic pretty much trying to carry this team, they're 47-32. I don't know. I feel like it's still a pretty darn good basketball team to be going out and making moves like this. But I guess that's what they're going to do. Best of luck to the Nuggets. We will see. But anyway, all right. Let's get to a timeout. When we come back, we have got plenty more to get to. Actually, no, we're not time. I'm not on this. We got to get to the walk-off. That's right. Let's get to the walk-off. Talk some golf.
High drive, deep left, grand slam! And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Real quickly here in the walk-off, one of the more fun days of the golfing calendar takes place today. It's Masters week, of course. We'll have the Masters getting going starting tomorrow there in Augusta. But today, one of the more fun, lighthearted days, and it is the par 3 contest where you get to see all the guys out there just have some fun, play the par 3 course, walk the course. It's fun for the fans, it's fun for the golfers, and it's fun for the golfers' family. I think that's the thing I enjoy the most is seeing golfers' families get to go out there and walk the course with them. The wife gets to help carry the bag, or the kids get to. It's fun. And probably my favorite thing is watching the kids and the grandkids, that have grown up watching dad play golf, get to go out there and show their golf skills by sometimes they'll give them a club and let them swing. And sometimes you see the hole-in-one on the 9th hole. They kind of cut the green and put the cup in a spot to allow that to happen. It's just fun. And I like it's a fun-hearted time before you really kick off the golf season with the first major of the year in Augusta with the Masters. So if you want to watch that today, you can. It'll be on ESPN Plus starting at what would be, I think, 10 o'clock Mountain, 11 o'clock Central Time. And then 2 hours after, you can flip over to just regular ESPN and watch the tournament wherever they pick it up. But I don't know. To me, it's just a fun day to watch families of these great golfers and stuff get to have fun on the course with their dad and their husbands and get to see them swing the golf club, and you never know what you might see. So pretty darn cool if you ask me. All right, that'll do it for our program today. All right, thanks again to Max Gershon. Once again, happy birthday to the birthday boy. We're back again tomorrow in 23 hours for a Thursday edition of the Morning Blitz. Make sure you tune back in. Have a good Wednesday. This is the Blitz.
Rockin' 102.5 is KKCI, Goodland, Colby, Burlington.